Okay, got back from annual training on Tuesday. It's been a whirlwind of a week since then. It's now Friday. So after 16 days of doing army crap with very little break, I want to get out in the desert. Before I can do that though, there's 3 projects right here in front of us that have got to get done. First one, the most important one, is that alternator is fried, so I need to get a new alternator in there. That's it right there, Powermaster 200 amp. Second one, you see the little brackets right there. I'll show you what that is. You need help, baby? Alright, there was no easy way for me to show that with the camera and still get up there and be able to work. But that bracket is now in there on the underside of the motor mount. That's the frame portion of it. So 2 simple welds there and there. And now this little joyful piece is left over from the IFS days. This is the 4-wheel drive actuator. Electric motor, this pops out, and that actuates the axle, locks it in basically. Let me reset, there we go. So now, I can take this. It's a pretty tight fit on this one. I don't know if Rob did these for GMT 800s, maybe they're slightly different. I don't know. I do know the thread is different. That may cause me an issue. So I've got it there. My theory is above frame rail, this is pointing backwards to the truck, so that's forwards. That keeps this from getting too gunked up. When I say Rob, go look him up on Instagram, I'll put that below. He does a lot of solid axle swap parts, entire builder kits basically for the Dana 44 solid axle swap. If you've got a full-size 1500, he's a good guy to go to. Me, this is a 3/4 ton, so I did the 1 ton swap. So he provides that bracket, you can put it on wherever you want. This location seemed good to me, tucked up out of the way. And he provides this nut. The problem I've got now is this nut is a different thread. So I may have to go back to him and see if I can get a nut of the correct thread, because that's not going to work for me. The bracket portion of it does. And then all I got to do is take the wiring and just hook it into the back, zip tie all that out of the way. And what that does is if you've got one of these electronic, it's an MP243 if I remember correctly, but the electronic transfer case, now it should function correctly. Push button from the dash, so on and so forth. For me, I was running without the actuator connected. I was getting a lot of flashing lights on the dash. 4-wheel drive would go in most times, sometimes it didn't. But I'm hoping by doing this, I'll have 4-wheel drive in all the time. It's just a problem with that nut. That nut is not the right size. So I'm gonna pull that back apart. I'm gonna spritz that with some paint so it doesn't get too rusty up under here. And then I'm going to get on to the next 2 things I want to get done before I can actually get out of town and into the desert. Alright, for my truck, 454, 1998, I have a CS144 case. It's the big heavy duty alternator. This, of course, being a Powermaster 200 amp. So, on the back, you have a nut right here that is the ground, basically attaches to the bracket attaches to the motor. You have a nut back here that is the post that I have all my positive wires going to. So remove those 2, then you come up front, one at the bottom here, one at the bottom here. You pull those out and you should be able to lift her right back out. If I'm lucky, this will be a 1-for-1 swap, that they don't have any funny clocking going on with the whole housing of this thing, because they do that sometimes. Otherwise, yeah, getting to this point where the belt is torn off, that's your tensioner right there. You just put a breaker bar on that, move it on out so you can get, I usually go off of here. I get the belt off of here first, the idler pulley, then I can pull it off of here easy. I try to remember the routing by keeping it where it would be. So you can see it's going to go on the tensioner and the idler, and then this loop right here is going to go on my alternator. Try to keep that so I don't mess around with any of the routing I've got going on. My system, obviously with a Pro charger, you probably don't have that, is a lot more complicated, but it's basically the same on this end of the motor. So I'm gonna get those out, put this thing in, hook it back up, and hopefully I've got full 14 plus voltage again. So right now she's barely even pushing 9 with the way this thing was smoking yesterday. Thank goodness for Summit Racing and overnight shipping. Nobody else in town. This is a crazy thing. Salt Lake City, warehouses everywhere. Nobody in town could get me one. So overnight from Summit. Now, once you've got those 2 front bolts out, you will have to get I'm just using a long screwdriver to pry up in there to pull her out. Same side over here. Get it to pull out. So it's in pretty tight. Boom, I'm out. Okay. So now I can lift that thing out. I can put the other one in. And I should be back in business. Let's find out. One last thing, once you've rotated it around like this, now you've got this clip right here. Push it up, boom. Mine's a 1-wire. Don't ask me to remember if this is internally regulated or externally or whatever. I think that's just the voltage lead. It tells me what the volt is on the dash. I think this is internally regulated. I think that's what all that is. Otherwise it'd be more than 1 wire. I think. Don't ask me to explain that kind of detail. I just know how to swap parts. I'm not an expert on this kind of stuff by any means. I just know how to combat parts changer. That's what I am. Here we go. I'm gonna get it out. The other thing to do is make sure you do the comparison here. Negative ground, cool. Positive, yep, cool. So all of that mounting are in the same place. The brackets all clocked the straight way, at least for what I had in there. If you are doing this from a stock one, there is a problem, and I ran into it when I installed this 4 years ago. Let me show you. I had to flip this bracket around, drill it out a little bit more, and then I was able to put it back in together. So it's not quite a 1-for-1 stock. I had to bend that up, get it in the right place, and get it drilled out so it'll fit in there. But it does eventually. You just have to mess with this back piece of the bracket. So that made that more difficult than it needed to be last time. Considering I was thousands of miles away from home in Monterey, California, doing that with whatever tools I had in the truck. That was pretty monumental. None of the tools here in the garage as far as grinding and my die grinders, all that kind of stuff. So if you're doing this one, keep that in mind. You will have to play with this bracket from the Powermaster CS144. I don't care what they say about, oh, it fits your truck. It doesn't fit that. And you gotta modify it. I already have, so I should be able to drop this thing right back in, no problems. Yes, I disconnected mine. My negatives are all disconnected, both sides. That side and this side, disconnected. Because yeah, you don't want something arcing through and destroying your regulator or whatever else. That will totally void your warranty, and then you're screwed because you're out of $470 when it's all said and done. What's this say? Cruise at 190, top end at 216, idles at 131. That's pretty good. Voltage regulator set point 148. Interesting. So that's the test card for that. Not bad. Oh, I can't do that single-handedly. Now, it is not going to just slide on in there. Highly suggest you go really gentle. And you're watching just tiny little taps to line up those. Those are close. So grab one of these. See if I can slip it in there. Finesse it around. Okay, so you see what I'm after. I'm going to have to use the pry and everything else like that. I can't hold the camera and do that. But you're going to have to tap it around, finesse it around till you get those bolts lined up. Then you can go after the other ones. So as I'm fighting this thing, it's occurring to me, I may have done this the last time too, 4 years ago, I don't remember. But get this one in first, then it's easier to push this one in. But this one has a heck of a time getting lined up. It's just spinning and spinning. I'm not quite in there. So get that one started first. It's still not there. It'll just spin and spin on you. So I've got to wrangle it around to get this one started. And once I've got that one started and in for sure, I'll have to pry back there and all kinds of other places just to get it lined up. Now the way these bolts are, they're not thread the whole way, so it should be enough to get it in there and start the threads, and then it'll align itself whatever it needs to do, whichever way it needs to go. But I'm going to get to that, because I had this one all the way in, and I'm realizing I'm fighting this one too much. I think that is how I did it last time, is got this one situated, then put this into place and got it situated. So I'm gonna go back after that. All right, I have never had an alternator fight me that bad. There is a slight misalignment in between the two bottom bolts down there. So I'm gonna go real crazy. I got that one in, but not the other one in. However, on the back side, there's that one to the bracket, so I figure between those 2 points, this thing is solidly in place, should not have a problem. Knock on wood, right on my head. So that's 2 things I got to today. I'll just jump onto the truck, show you the other one. But the third one, you see a lot of the wire loom is jacked up. It's 28 years old, melting, disintegrating. I wanted to get to that. I've got a whole bunch of more modern loom. I'm not going to get to today. I need to call it quits, need to get this done. Belt's back on, that's a fun job to do too. As the added complexity of that Pro charger makes the belt real fun to get on. So I'm going to fire it up, make sure everything's good, make sure I've got the 14 plus volts that I'm supposed to have, and we'll see if we're good. So the other thing, this is in there, and I committed a sin there. Threads are different. The nut has a finer thread than the plastic that is on the actuator, so I cross-threaded the piss out of that just to get it on, get it tight. I'll fix that sin later if I ever think about it. But for now, it's on, it's in place. It should allow the four-wheel drive system to behave better. We'll see. But yeah, don't yell at me too much, Rob. I know he'd probably rather I come get the right one, but I'm trying to get this done so I can get on the road. I'm hours overdue. I want to get on the road and get out of town. So there it is, nice new Powermaster Alternator. Should give me 200 amps. You know, ish, depending on what it's actually revving at, what RPMs it's at. If you've come this far, hope these 2 things did you some good. If you got a solid axle swap and you've got the electronic transfer case, now you know where to go to get yourself a bracket to make that actuator think it's still working, and the computer and the whole system should think it's still working like it's supposed to. And then an alternator change out. Like I said, this one's slightly misaligned, like millimeter or less, but enough to cause me a problem. So I've done what I've done, and you can do what you want to do. If you come this far, appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one.